I brought it up a few years ago that I don't think professional athletes should be getting paid the money they get, but I think the teachers,
first responders, military
responders, the people that run to when everyone's running from, they're the ones that should be getting these huge salaries because no one respects them or loves them until they're called upon and needed. The military's the same way. Look at Vietnam. They spit on these warriors, these savages, these heroes coming home, but we wouldn't be where we are without it. And we can get into a whole political debate about that. But bottom line, nowadays, all war is a profit machine. That's why we do a lot of it.
That was actually one of the things, because obviously when I bring folks on the show, I want to talk about stuff that they are much more knowledgeable than me about. And that was actually one of the things I had listed out here was to get your opinion on war. And because I've just started kind of going down the rabbit hole more and just not trying to do it via TikTok, but trying to look at it from like fact-based, like as far as just actually going in and looking at who profits from war. And it's sure as fuck not the soldiers or our country. It's the fucking businesses that are a part of it.
Businesses, it is politicians, it is, pharmaceutical companies have their hands in everything. Big giant conglomerates have their hand in everything. They're controlling the media. You go over to other countries, this whole fake propaganda news bullshit, it ain't happening. It doesn't happen. We're too. I understand where the freedom of speech, freedom of this, freedom of that, but bottom line, too many people are taking advantage. Well, there's a very few select people that are taking advantage of it, right? It's like literally, I think 99% of the problems we have in the country are about 14% of this country. I'm not going to say who or what it is, but we're allowing, the other 80-some%, 86% is just keeping their mouth shut. But every now and then, you'll see a feed where like someone's trying to rob a store and people have like had enough of it.
Yes.
Like 6 guys, and that's how it should be. And guys jump on somebody, they beat the living dog shit out of them, and they're like, "I'm going to sue you." Well, sue me.
Yeah, go for it.
It's like you shouldn't be stealing.
Yeah.
Your life's everybody. During COVID, everyone was suffering, dude. I profited in COVID. Like if you have that mindset, there's always a way to make money. That's the one thing I've learned. You can always make money, but what you can't always do is you can't always gain trust, and that reputation, that's more important to me, brother. That's how you do it.
Yep, your word and your name. I mean, that's my grandpa used to always say that's the 2 things you've got, your word and your name. Everything else is material, but, if people trust you, if people believe in you, if you do what you say you're going to do and you're reliable, then you know what, you'll have a fruitful life as long as you just keep down that path and put in the hard work that people will appreciate that.
You can take hard work and reputation to the gravestone with you, to your deathbed.
Yep.
You can't take the material things. I'm telling you, I've heard this and you've heard 1,000 times. I've never heard of anybody dying saying, "I wish I would have made more money." Yeah. It's always, "I wish I had more time. I wish I would have gave more hugs. I wish I would have
worked harder." Yep. Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. And it's one of the things too, where it's, what you were talking about a minute ago is, I'm starting to see a little bit of hope of people are starting to get fed up with this shit. Like, I feel like the country's been very sheepish. You know what I mean? As far as not, and I don't know if a lot of that comes from not wanting to go with the flow, not having enough self-confidence and awareness to stand out. I don't know the reasoning behind it, but I feel like I'm starting to see just some small things where people are banding together and going, "No, man, we're not going to tolerate this shit." You know what I mean? I loved that. I loved the other day at the protest, the Ole Miss students that brought the flag out and started singing the national anthem, and that's, hey, okay, you can have your protest, but we're going to tell you what the fuck we believe in too.
And then everybody gets offended, that the certain few are like, "You can't do it." Yeah, you can do it. We can. That's the problem. Everybody thinks that these, everybody who's oppressed and they're entitled. If you're entitled, so are we.
Yeah.
And right now, the cool thing is for dudes to dress up like girls and dudes to jump into women's sports, which I think is absolutely fucking
ridiculous.
Appalling.
Fucking terrible.
They just had that long distance runner that.
All because what? You weren't a good enough dude athlete?
But you weren't good enough in your own field the way that you were born.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. If
you don't want to work to get better.
Harder.
I was about to say, and you don't want to work to get better, so you're going to take the easy way out, which is fucking identify as a girl and play girl sports. Come the fuck on.